depicting today's video game. I hope John puts it on stream for everyone to see.
Can you paint a picture with your words? What is it?
Well, I put it in Mumble, mate, so you can actually see it yourself.
Oh boy, let's have a look.
Words can't describe this picture.
Whilst that peppers out and loads, let's have a quick discussion of who we're watching tonight. We're actually going to be watching Reason Gaming versus Wonderland, Grabber's team versus kaidus. See who can throw harder.
Yeah, it's going to be either a very, very interesting game or a terrible one.
Yes, we actually watched, both of us, we did watch the Reason PCWs just before the stream, and they were actually struggling, War.
Yeah, it's not really surprised because they're kind of new, although they have been playing with each other before, so I guess you can't really use that as an excuse anymore. I'd just like to point out that my pitch is now on stream. Thank you very much, John. As you can see, there's Happy Cool that is beating Grabber over the head with a phallus-shaped object, which is
that's a baseball bat. That is a baseball bat for everybody.
Yeah, it is a baseball
nothing
bat.
Else.
If anybody does think of it as something else, then they're a disgusting little boy, and I'll tell their mummies.
And if it does look like that, maybe you should go get it checked out. You know, it's not supposed to look like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, video games. Yeah. So Reason have been. I think they lost against TLR the first game. They played Danger Dogs today. They won 2-0 on Sunshine, and they drew 2-2 on Granary Pro. So they're not sort of doing as well as you would expect this proposed super team would do. Another sort of, I was looking through the PCWs this week, and it's a bit, they've had some pretty decent results, but not entirely convincing. One fun fact is that there was a game where Mike got 18 air shots.
Oh yeah, and didn't he still lose that game?
Yeah, that was the TLR game. I was looking at it, and then I saw Shadowbone of 11. I was like, holy shit, you got 11 headshots. And I saw Mike and he got 18, and I don't know, questioned.
Yeah, maybe this team is just kind of playing just to get back into the thrill of things, just rub off the rust, and maybe not anything past that. Maybe not taking the PCWs too seriously.
It's incredibly, they're really, really pushing it thin though. Fun fact, about 2 weeks ago, it was when I first joined Epsilon. So they have a 2-week handicap, what we had. Whether or not this team will sort of find their stride, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, but
it's debatable on the replacements. Apart from Walters and Zoob, they couldn't make it to land, but I feel there seems to be quite a bit of question over the removal of Skeege.
So, do you think this result will matter to them at all? Because I think actually no, they do need this result. If they actually lose out on any sort of points, I don't think they will get that 4th place or playoff spot.
I feel that if they don't do well, they'll probably have the attitude of it's just a PCW, who gives a shit, but you know, they will actually really will care. And they'll put on like a very tough persona.
So what sort of response do you think they'll give if they actually end up like losing the season? I mean, everyone is suspecting now for this team to win the season.
If I'm honest, I can't expect them really trying as hard as they should. But it just depends. The main issue with Epsilon last year was the availability of Nox, who had a lot of work commitments, and if it's going to be the same story this year, they really are going to struggle. Because they've made a lot of changes. Tobias Mike is doing very, very well, as you'd expect. Kyler hasn't been as good as he has been previously, and yeah, I think it's just going to be a case of Nox getting used to captain and getting that synergy together, as well as Nox and kaidus. But it depends. If kaidus can sort of avoid catching miserable Dimmerman syndrome, then they, and they get through that, then I think they can be okay.
So your eyes are going to be wandering on kaidus a lot tonight, probably, because it's almost like a mirror match of your opportunity last time, except like this time he kind of gutted out his team rather than you just joining on towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spread any rumours, but there is a reason why I'm practicing Demoman. But I'll leave that there.
A reason, huh? A reason?
That was a part of it, but mine was more subtle. Now just drawing attention to the ruse.
Oh man, I just want to spell it out for everybody. You don't want to miss out on a good joke.
Yeah. But it's yeah, kaidus sort of suffers from, let's say, miserable demoman. It's miserable British demoman syndrome, where every English demoman goes through the same depressing persona where they hate everything in the world and they drag their team down with them.
What about Numlock? That guy seems always cheery.
Debatable.
Alright, fair enough. Well, enough of the reason spotlight. We do have another team. This is a two-man contest after all. And let's have a look at the Wonderland squad. What do you think of Wonderland? What are your first impressions, War?
I don't know who Grabber is. I don't know who Wonszu is. Lupus is bad. Is that Silentes or whatever his name is, Silentes or Silente? Yeah, he's an MG lord. He's pretty good. Kuna is actually a really good demo man. However, he just does really, really, really stupid shit.
Does he never come out as really, really, really clever sometimes, though?
Well, he just does the most bizarre things, and it works. He's got a very unique playstyle for Demoman. Like, whenever I've played against him, he's always sort of, yeah, you just can't sort of really read him. You don't understand, like what he's thinking. It's just incredibly unpredictable, which is actually probably a good thing in a player. If your enemies get a read on you, then you're going to be a bit weak, but yeah.
So, going with what we know that the reason they've been losing in PCWs, keep in mind that they've been losing to TLR, they've been losing to Danger Dogs. Do you think there's a realm of possibility of losing to Wonderland? I mean, the Arlo team.
I don't know. You can't really. Reason of 100% got this, I would say.
They could be. So Wonderland could be kicking and screaming, having the game of their lives, but that's just...
that's the problem is that I don't think Lupus has ever had a game of his life, and I don't think there's the potential there for that to ever happen. By all means, you can use this opportunity to prove me wrong. I hope he does. So it's going to be quite... I don't know. There's always a part, during these casts when it's like an underdog versus like the clear favourite, that a part of you wants to sort of try and find some sort of shred of hope for the underdog, but sometimes it's just not meant to be. It's written in the tea leaves in the bottom of the cup.
Well, if you're going to be the logical one, I guess I'll be the emotional one of the two. I'll just go put my chips down on Wonderland.
I reckon it's going to be 6-1, 6-1. I feel Wonderland can get around, maybe even the first round. It just depends. You can't really sort of... I mean, this season's a bit weird because it's probably like one of the closest games. I mean, by all means, Wonderland have got players that can certainly come up with the big plays with Sil, Kuna, and who was the other scout?
Oh, they've been rotating the other scout quite a lot. They've actually got Pomu right now.
Who's he?
He is literally a nobody.
Alright, give me a moment. Let me just go on to ETF2L.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be impressed with what you see, but I think he's played like some lower divs, or he's literally played nothing at all.
He's got the Pug avatar. Hold on, let me have a look. Previous team history. He's been on ETF2L for 4 years.
Alright, so
he's played in Div 5, Div 5, Div 6, Div 4, Div 4, Div 3, Div 2.
Woo,
right?
Div 2!
There was a little bit of question where he was heading with the drop back down to Div 6. So the only thing that you can really take from this is that he's probably cheating, in which way, in that case, they're going to probably do really well.
Well, I guess that's a critical analysis in of its own right, I suppose. But what about Sunshine? Do you think Sunshine is going to do any favours for either one of these teams?
The mids are a bit messy. If you can send like do an all-in strat and just see how it goes. It's like the old granary where it's just a roll of the dice. So,
but Wonderland like dice rolling though, don't they?
Yeah, I can imagine that they do. That it's their kind of game, but it really does depend. It's kind of like a DM-centered map. There's a lot of high ground to take, so air shots are going to be an important factor. And as you've got Mike and Captain, probably one of the scariest soldier duos in the game, along with Shadowburn and AMS, it's going to be quite a DM feat.
There's going to be more. There's going to be more fights in the air than there's going to be on the ground.
Yeah, Syl is a MG Lord. Wonszu, I think, is an MG Lord. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll have to see. I think it can be. I don't know. I really want this game to be close. Like, there's a part of me. It's like the happy side of me, which I keep on stifling every day.
Pushing him back down.
Well, they can do it if you just believe. Come on, smile.
I didn't know your happy side was so Irish.
And then I just destroy that happiness with alcohol and TF2 playing.
Are you sure your happiness isn't admirable or something? Sounds a little bit like him.
Yeah, if somebody was clasping at his testes.
Well, we do have another map coming up, Granary Pro. Surely, they've been playing that map for years, all of Reason lot. Like, surely that would play into their favour.
Well, the changes are just sort of minor improvements, so yeah, I think Reason will probably have that if more than anything.
But also keep in mind that was the game they did previously lose to Danger Dogs in the PCWs just before this game, so maybe...
That is true, but I think quite a few people are undervaluing Danger Dogs.
Yes, Danger Dogs have really come into stride recently, especially with that pickup of QNX.
Yeah, they've really sort of started to perform together as a team quite a bit. There were many times when they were sort of forcing Reason to be uncoordinated. I mean, it's only a PCW, so you're naturally seeing people in their, a no pressure environment, but there were many situations on the PCW where they literally had Reason completely outplayed in many situations. And Reason looked incredibly disorganized, but Danger Dogs are sort of can be considered as like a team that can break into, the top tier. So,
oh man, Kratos is going to be so happy that you said that.
Yeah, it feels really weird. Like, sort of.
What has TF2 got to? How did we get to this point?
Yeah, it's just like Kratos, someone that tried playing Dome Man sucked, tried playing Scout sucked, and is now doing reasonably okay as a medic. It just sort of goes to show that medic is an easy class and anybody can play it.
No, it's just our boy
Which is why
Kratos.
girls play it. Hey-yo!
Alright, let's just tick off girl fan base offended. Let's see how many more we can scratch off towards the end of the night.
Bring on the women's rights activists.
We've already got racism charges against us. This is not going good.
This is a new low for TFTV, and ever since I started casting again, they're going to have to sort of try and do something to get me away from this place.
It's alright though. People love the drama really, they just won't admit it.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm pretty much just here because one, I'm a has-been at TF2 and I'm terrible at the game now and nobody will take me, not even Foreskins who kicked me from the Jew team. But I'm also just here to create drama, which I've really missed in the TF2 community.
Man, I think you really could do with a happy admirable right about now.
Yeah, probably.
Well, as we've exhausted every single possible thing we could talk about, the one thing we haven't talked about, I guess, is like we could go through exactly who's playing, go through name for name, the old roster rundown, just like...
Isn't that one for when it's almost about to start?
Well, I guess we can do it just about now, because I think we see Nox joining up, so...
I want to chime in with something, though, if I may
okay.
take a moment. On Saturday to Sunday, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour charity stream in for a children's mental health organisation. So it would be very appreciated if people would come over, have a little gander, watch me suffer and cry as I suffer from sleep deprivation, and they're starting.
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, if you're just joining us, this is Reason Gaming versus Wonderland. This is ETF2L Season 21, Week 6, powered by TT Sports. It's TurboTabs on the cast. Joining him is WARHURYEAH, and on the camera is John. And what's the first thing you see on mid? Actually, the first thing I see is Mike doing an initial bombing onto the middle, like the bell tower of sorts, and he's just immediately backed out of Cafe. Both teams are kind of just staggering themselves, taking their time, and we're actually seeing Wondszu pulling out the direct hit for this initial mid, and he's already picked off 2 players with it. This game can't get any more like random, I guess, as you could say. That coin flip you were talking about. Now, especially now that they've employed that that direct hit, but upon saying that, Reason just laugh in the face of that direct hit and just completely wipe out the other team.
Interesting selection with the direct hit. The problem is if you don't hit people directly, it doesn't do anything.
Well, that is quite the inside cast information, but we do have some TF2 Centre players playing tonight, so maybe, you know, they don't know. Not playing, but watching tonight, so maybe they don't know, you know.
Yeah, the mid was going alright, but they just sort of need a little bit more structure rallying around their medic, and Reason are now going to be pushing into second, which they should get for free.
Yeah, they've just done just that. They've completely got second for absolute free. It seems Wonderland are very, very intimidated, and rightfully so. Reason is probably like the top #1 seed right now, especially with this change. And they enter in with the Uber straight off the door. Captain does get headshot immediately. He's immediately jumping towards Grabber. He's taken out Grabber, so there's no Ubers in the equation for Wonderland now. They just have to rely on that direct hit, rely on that raw DM of Pomu. But Kyler, for fun, has got something to say in that matter. He has taken him out as well. Silentes is just... everyone's just living by the skin of their teeth. They really could do with Grabber's heels right now, and Silentes just doesn't have the sustain to keep that point defender 1-0 already.
That was pretty good from Reason. Pretty well disciplined push. Nobody sort of got a bit too... what was it? Bloodthirsty, and sort of went way too deep than they actually needed to. They got the medic pick, which kaidus absolutely slammed.
Wow, we launched off into a second mid now. kaidus getting the faster rollout than Kuna right now. He's just quickly getting buffed up. No major Demoman spam being traded out. kaidus has actually been launched right into the air. He actually does get Crater in the end now, but you actually see the side of Wonderland actually winning this mid. What with all the picks of Pomu, maybe your accusations were right just earlier. You do see Lupus going for the ambitious 1v1 onto Kyler, but he just doesn't want to take it now, especially with Nox backing him more. But Kuna with the big Demoman like bomb in. Nobody saw that coming, but Happy Cool doesn't really care. It seems like Kuna didn't hit a single pipe or a single sticky onto Nox. Credit to Nox surviving that as well. But now you actually see Kyler is actually kyling everybody on that mid, whilst I was blabbering on about Kuna's big ambitious bomb.
Yeah, Kyler just managed to get behind, take out the medic against 3 players, which is pretty hilarious. And completely, yeah, he just won that for a reason, if I'm honest. And they really did lose that for Wonderland by just...
Oh, Silentes with the big bomb in. He actually does force off Nox, but he's getting caught behind. He actually skill sticks Mike down in the cafe area now, and he's gone back to grab some health, and he's going to rejoin his team on this fight. Maybe they'll try and contest this, but you do have kaidus already sticking up those doors, and Grabber has no Uber to really Uber out and like defend this point. kaidus is caught out by Pomu though. Can the demo man? Oh wow, kaidus with the big pipe.
Wow, slam.
Slammerino indeed.
See that, I don't know why, but Wonderland seemed to be giving them way too much respect. When they killed Nox, they can just sort of wiggle their way in, but they sort of just moved out, and if you look at it, they're now on the last, they're now pushing up through lobby, but they're giving way too much respect, and Lupus has done the poopus.
Well, they're deciding to push anyway. They've gone in. They've even Ubered in the direct hit soldier. They've decided to spam out that cafe area. Nox has been put very low, but he has inched his way out. The respected medic with his flashy dodging skills, even against the mighty direct hit. Mike is kind of causing some all sorts of hassle behind. Actually trades with Solentes, but that is just a Roma trade. And now they're talking about trades. They're just slapping out more trades with Kuna taking out another player, whilst we actually see the rest of Reason Scouts just kind of clawing and clamouring all over Wonderland. And Kuna even getting taken out himself in that lower area by himself. I don't know what he was doing there, War.
It's just everything just seems to be going wrong, and it looks like Reason will take this round unless something terrible happens. And
So-
it looks like something terrible is happening.
So, in your opinion, is this more down to Reasoning being like disciplined, or is this just Wonderland completely screwing the pooch?
To be honest, the respawn waves on Sunshine are actually pretty quick. I'd say that they feel similar to Snake Water, where whenever you push last, there's always a seemingly constant respawn wave. So Sunshine sort of has the same sort of feeling with the respawn waves as that, but
Well, we see
Wonderland just given them way too much respect in so many occasions, and
Well, they're not giving them respect now. They have actually pushed into mid. They didn't have to use that Uber at all. There was no real force coming out until towards the tail end, but Mike was actually kind of caught out in the air, then kind of juggled almost, kited by those scouts. Kaidus with the nice little sticky trap onto Wondszu, though, to make some sort of equalising measure from all this destruction. Happy Cool even taking out Solentes, who's given a good poke somewhere, seeing what he can make happen. Lupus, again, getting taken out by Captain, but Captain does get cleaned up by Kuna now. It's just Kuna up. They do have an Uber charge. They have finally used it, but Nox is going to have his Uber in like just 25% time, I guess. Not really a timing period. Kaidus does get a nice little juggling pipe onto Kuna, the good old 1-2 pipe punch.
yeah, the respawn waves pooping up Wonderland there quite a bit. Well, not a significant amount, but I definitely sort of turned the tide of that fight anyway. Lupus looks like he might die again. No, he's actually learned the art of staying. No, wait. No, yeah, he's now realised. Hold on. If I die,
He is teetering
to
that
wait.
edge. Kaidus has gone in with the Uber. He's launched himself forward. He got an initial pipe kill onto Solentes, and now the cleaning up grabber on the medic. There's going to be no Uber to kind of block this midpoint, but they do have a back cap. Pomu managed to get behind, and now he's fighting off against 4 Reason players. Even Nox went back there to kind of deal with the situation. We do have Kyler still kind of hanging about on this mid. He even takes out Kuna, who was coming to defend that midpoint, suspecting everybody went back for that back cap. And now, again, we see Lupus just has a death wish and dies immediately. And we have Wonszu who's also behind. It seems Wonderland just don't know when to catch a break. They just keep pouring in the players. Wonszu even gets taken out on the second point of Reason when they've already capped midpoint now, and now the momentum is in full huge swing change. Pomu's decided to take a ticket into the death train and just kind of killed himself as well.
that was good. I like that.
Alright, so we'll
Death
see.
train isn't really a thing.
I'm not sure. Do we have comms? Well, anyways, we do. We see an initial push coming in from Reason now. They have popped off the Uber. They've decided to go right into the core of Kuna right now, see if we can take him out and allow some breathing room for the players to cap this point out. And it's going to be so. A 2-0 lead for Reason Gaming, and not even 10 minutes have passed. War.
Yeah, I think this is going well. This isn't happening as quick as I thought, but is it Wonderland? Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Wonderland.
seem to be clutching at straws at the moment. You know, they're sort of just trying to find whatever they can to give themselves an advantage. The back cap was a good play, but it never really sort of created that much for them.
Well, Kaidus opted to go the valley roll at this time, and you actually see Mike went behind in the cafe. He's causing a bit of hassle to Wonszu, but Wonzu's trying his best to kind of like pick off Mike, but he seems to just not be budging. He's even doing some devastating damage to Lupus, and it gets followed up by Kyler for fun. Kaidus even just decides to jump in there and take out grab him himself, and now there's just Wonszu left with that crappy little direct hit, and he's just Kyler laughs in his face as he just takes him out.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it's still running direct hit. I can imagine that maybe they're not taking this that serious, but it's just sort of, there is literally a point where you're just not going to really do anything with it, and when your team's on the back foot and it's not in a mid fight, to be honest, it's not really worth running anymore. if you're on a huge advantage and you're constantly on the attack and the game's a bit slow, then yeah, by all means go for it. But it's just not happening. And
maybe they're just playing into their natures, the strengths. They know that they can't beat them on a good old-fashioned 6v6 playing field. So maybe if they bring out so many determining factors and like weird shit, that Reason will have no clue what to do and become flustered and maybe give up a few rounds here and there. But we do see a push coming into this last point now, and you actually see Wonszu doing a bit of damage with that direct hit now, but it's just him up and this soldier on last captain. He is fighting off 2 players. He has to deal with the skill stick. He actually has done the saving grace shot to kind of keep him alive towards the end of that now. Maybe the spawn timers will come in time, like you said, but no, even the mighty spawn timers of Sunshine was not enough to defend this last point.
Yeah, it's becoming a little bit of a roll at the moment, and in that situation I think Wonderland had a slight advantage on heals, but yeah, they're just getting out DM'd at this point, and it's the sort of the difficult part when you're sort of clinging onto the game, trying to grab something back, you just get out DM'd. It's sort of quite a demoralising factor.
Well, we do launch into another middle of it. Maybe this is the time that Wonderland will make their big swift comeback. You do see Kuna initially rolling out quite quicker, but it seems to not affect Reason whatsoever. He has managed to accomplish anything, and now they're caught completely with their pants down, and they're trying to just itch their way back to the point, but Reason are just shooting off all the guns, firing everything to make sure they can take down Grabber, launching all the players, but it seems they actually have managed to weasel their way out, even get a shy little pick onto Mike.
Yeah, that was, I mean, the push is becoming very, very quick, very fluid from Reason, because now Wonderland aren't offering that much resistance, but they do look like they're going to try and contest for second.
And they're doing quite well, actually. They're pushing Reason all the way out. They do have that threat of that Uber, and Nox just doesn't want to use his Uber right now. They're even cutting straight into the midpoint. They have, I mean, Reason haven't capped it whatsoever, and they have popped off that Uber, but there's been quite a bit of multiing coming out from Grabber and co, and now you actually see Nox with his big scary captain, one of the most lethal soldiers in the game, actually making an impact, but it's still like 2 people apiece for both teams right now. You do actually see Lupus kind of caught out in the tail end of it, even Nox picking up that kill.
Yeah, but I think it was Wonderland that sort of jumped in, had a direct hit, didn't hit anything directly, and then had to awkwardly jump away, and he's about to get possibly smashed. I'm just watching him. Oh, he hit something directly, but
yes,
it was just sort of by Cafe, just trying to kill Mike, and I don't know. I don't know why it's continuing.
Do you think those little picks, those picks out of nowhere, are enough to justify this direct hit?
Probably. He's probably saying, "See, look, guys, it's not going terribly. I've just got a kill."
20 minutes of missing with the direct hit, but it's okay. That 1 minute I killed somebody. It's alright, team. We do actually see Lupus pulling out the sniper rifle for the Wonderland squad. Lupus not really well known for his sniper, but maybe he can still make something happen. Kuna, though, with his well-known sticky, well, maybe not well-known sticky traps, but still Demoman's signature. The sticky trap taking out a poor defenseless Mike.
Yeah, now they got a good force off, which is nice, but there's still a chance that they could lose this last.
Yeah, Reason aren't even pushing with it.
I would imagine that Reason are either going to just sort of send Suiciders to make them force, or win the DM fight when Wonderland push out, and they're going to be pushing out from
lower
left side.
Oh, yeah, left hand side now. And you see Kylo's actually trying to sneak his way, maybe for a back cap. Nobody's really going to check that spot, I'd see. They've all got their eyes forward on that choke area. Kyle slips in unannounced, nobody notices him. He's going straight to last, but he does have to deal with Solentes on the back line. It's going to come down to maybe this. Solentes is doing a good job of actually defending that last point, but again, you see the rest of Reason, when initially they were just buying time for Kyler, they've actually just won the point back outright, and now kaidus even getting some nice little pipes to clean up some of these players. Solentes does finally take out, actually no, he took out Mike. Kyler must have just got out at some point.
See, Kyler's been just played this pretty much very well, which is probably the only reason why
he's still on last. He's still lowering. He's still doing the dance of the scout. He even takes out Solentes, who's trying to hit it with the skill stick. A big fat air shot coming out from Captain to kind of cap out that point. It's 4-0 so far. It's looking very grim for Wonderland 4.
Yeah, Kyler was doing really, really well because Salentes was there and they sort of traded some shots, and Kyler just sort of left and just completely left him because the fight was going well for Reason on second. So he didn't sort of rush it and put pressure on his team to block it. He just sort of backed out and then he just took second calmly and just carried on.
What do you think of these two Demoman's rollouts? Kuna's opting to go from choke every time, but he arrives with literally no health on the mid, but he does arrive like a good second or two faster. Can you really abuse that on Sunshine?
I'm not really the person to talk about rollouts.
Fair enough. Okay, so we're launching into another mid. The first picks initially, of course, going out to Reason. It seems like past that first couple of middles, they've really decided how they should play out these middles now. Kuna's just trying to piece himself together, just trying to scrape anything. He tries to get out, bangs his head on the way out, and just finally gets cleaned up by Reason. kaidus even giving out a nice little tasteful LOL in chat.
Yeah. Which, little does he know that LOL actually means lots of love.
Well,
Lucas just went for what I could assume was a force onto Nox, but successfully missed, and Nox still has the Uber.
Well, they've got absolutely no Uber to even call back at this point. They've got a mere 20%. I don't think even if they buy all the time in the world, they're not going to get this Uber off in this last point. So they're just going to have to do it the good old-fashioned way, just survive that Uber and see maybe they can DM out. They are rotating the soldiers quite well. Captain has got a lot on his plate to deal with. He actually has been taken out. Happy Cool got taken out during all the chaos as well. Now Reason actually running with the tails in between the legs. What happened to that Uber push? Walk.
It's probably just more unlucky than anything. They just sort of got a little bit too ahead of themselves, but if I'm honest, it's probably not the end of the world for Reason because they've got the players that can still probably contest second anyway.
Oh, Kyle actually takes out someone in lobby, maybe initially looking for that back cap, but just happens to stumble upon that player. Captain even going for the initial defense, but couldn't get there in time. Kyler is just out DMing everything, and everyone has their doubts about Kyler, but it seems to really be putting on the show for everyone now, really flexing those big biceps he has.
Yeah, and I just like to point out that those biceps lifted me up and he touched my butt.
And not just once, not just twice, but like 20 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyler's strong in game and out of game. And now we see Lupus, who's right now like a stick insect compared to Kyler, going down yet again. He's going to have a hell of a death count towards the end of this game.
Kyler absolutely stomped on Wonzu in lobby. Like,
Wonzu hit the nice little like kind of picks and kills and the air shots coming out onto both Nox and Captain. Big time in climb up, even said by Nox in the chat. Maybe just mostly blaming that on them, just trying to claw their way up all that rubble to kind of get onto the balcony rather than go for that automatic door. You do see them actually trying to maybe get this back gap going, like Kyler's been trying to force this entire game. Just isn't making it happen though.
Yeah, I mean oh wow, Mike got slammed. Wow.
As in Space Jam slammed.
Wow, that was. I mean, he must be studying physics or something to do with astrophysics because that was out of this world.
Wow.
But yeah, it's actually quite surprising that Reason have been able to throw so many last pushes, but Wonderland are still struggling to sort of take any sort of advantage.
Kuna with the big Demo Man bomb. He gets a nice coordinated double sticky onto Nox. Didn't see him coming. See you later, Nox. See you on YouTube. And now you see the rest of actually Wonderland are getting creamed at this point. Or are they? Salentes actually has picked up a kill. He's got the high ground against Kyler. He does have to get out. Or Kyler doesn't want to get out. He actually just jumps into the fight, gets some nice clean shots onto Salentes, but he does have that health back to help him out. But then again, the rest of Wonderland have been completely creamed.
I mean, this is what I mean. Like, they were saying in the last, even though Reason were doing sort of not really brilliantly pushing and they had plenty of advantages to try and sort of push out, they just sort of, any sort of player advantage that they get, I don't know, they're just completely ruining it.
Well, maybe they can finally do it towards the end now. They have got like, it's a 10% advantage, but it's literally negligible. I think both teams would somewhat respect each other. And oh wait, no, Nox says nay. He's actually pushing without the Uber. Nobody saw this coming. coming, especially Silentes and Lupus and Pomu and Wonzu. Grabber. The entire team did not see it coming. 5-0 for Reason Gaming.
I gave Wonderland way too much credit thinking I could get around, to be honest.
Yeah.
However,
that'll teach your happy self.
Yeah. Wonzu had a whopping 8 frags, as I bring up the logs. And his damage per minute was actually in Lupus territory.
Just loading the logs now. Let's have a gander.
Fun fact: Nox had half the kills of Wonzu.
Ooh, I'm trying to find them, but I can't. Oh, wait, no, that's. Oh, I hate it when there's multiple games going on because I can mix up all my logs. So I'm just desperately trying to claw
logs on my homepage of every single TF2 player as well, so I can get their ASAP.
I'm embarrassing. I'm all blushed. I've clearly not prepared whatsoever.
That's alright.
You know what, I'm just going to search Nox. Fuck it, I can't find it. Okay. So, Nox. Sunshine. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to just grab this good doohickey here, see if I can paste it onto the stream for everyone to behold.
It's
Okay, and behold,
sad tale.
you should see a wonderful display of mathematics on your screen right now, and now we can start highlighting things with our good old highlighter tool. Or who do you want to highlight in these logs?
There isn't really anything to highlight that's worth mentioning, especially in a 5-0 roll.
Oh man, we can look at the big EP and we can look at damage. That's always a good fan favourite.
None of them has really broken anywhere near 400 DPM.
Well, on the bright side, though, we can bask in the fact that all 4 Reason players have got like top damage. Apart from Happy Cool, he's just.
No, there's 6 of them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I was talking about the combat classes. Okay.
What about Happy Cool?
Yeah, I was coming to him, and Happy Cool is stranded slightly out of his team. If he just got like 400 more damage, he'd be right up there with the rest of his team, just kind of basking in the damage.
Search by kill, assist, and deaths, and you'll get the picture that you're looking for.
All right, let's have a look. Oh my, wow. Well, Nox even like boasting. He actually got 4 kills during that. Amazing.
Yeah, he has. As I said, he had half the kills as Wonzu. Wonzu actually had 4 kills. He had 5 kills with the direct hit, 3 with the rocket launcher.
So at some point he did kind of consolidate himself and go, this direct hit is not working, and switch back to the rocket launcher.
Yeah, that was. I reckon that was a team-based decision. That was. I think they all sort of just took a moment whilst they were losing round after round, and I think, mate.
Well, I think
you should run normal.
So during that game, who do you think had the most deaths during that game?
Most deaths? Well, I can look at it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cheating. Okay, you have to I was going to take a guess that you would think Lupus, because it seemed like in our eyes he was dying every minute. But it was actually Pomu with the most deaths.
Yeah.
So that's some.
The standout players were probably definitely the recent scouts, Kyler and Hafikul, like won every single fight pretty much. Kyler did some insane plays, taking on really, really good 1v1s, playing them smartly as well, sort of not really getting over over his head, and just sort of quite a few scouts in those situations would have just sort of gone for the DM thing and just try 1v1, WM1 straight into their faces, but Kyler's just played it very, very well.
Does it look like the good old Kylo's back?
Yeah, because he's not surrounded by a shit team.
Again, that's the spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's times where Kyler has been in like a lower team, and he's really like shone in that. He's kind of let go of his responsibilities of I should play, and people just get to the point where Kyler, you can just do whatever you want, and he just showed some insane stuff.
In Epsilon, he couldn't really do whatever he wanted because nobody knew what we wanted him to do, and it was just to the point it was like, oh, fuck you guys, I'm going to back up all the time so we can actually win some rounds. And this time he was sort of still behind, playing smart on the flank. Wasn't really dying either. I mean, his heals were... He only had 11% of the heals, which is okay for a scout, but considering he's the flank scout, he's doing pretty well, and he managed to do a lot of work as well, which is always a good thing. One of the pushes that I'll point out again is the when Kyler was behind trying to backcap, and Wonderland were on second, and they just sort of managed to, retake second. Kyler just sort of does a really nice distraction play behind. They all sort of go back in to block. They don't rush it. They don't get over themselves. They're not sort of like urgently trying to block it. And they just sort of take over everything. And it was a really, really good coordinated push. Definitely not the reason that I saw in the warm-up game. But again, it's PCWs. Things change.
Well, let's see that if that series cap does tie over into the next map, Granary Pro. Now, I know we have touched upon it quite lightly before any of the game started, but what do you think of the map overall? What's your overall review or opinion of it?
The changes that have been made are just minor improvements to the map. Lighting additions are really, really good. The symmetrical differences now, so it's sort of not a case of having these terrible advantage for either side, which is also really, really good, which I felt was needed, so it stops the whole teams fighting over what side they play on. The last point being brought forward, I think, is also a pretty decent decision. I'm not 100% convinced by it. I can see the reason why it's been employed, but to me, the problem with Granary wasn't necessarily last. Last was pretty good because it, as a player, when you were pushing last and it was Uber versus Uber, as a team you're sort of sitting there and you're trying to think strats on how you can push against their last, and making it easier to cap last sort of takes away that. But if I'm honest, I haven't played the map with these changes enough to really sort of make a full decision on it. Everything else just sort of changes to make it so that it's a mirrored map. The spawns, I feel, are obviously the biggest improvement because fuck me, they were terrible.
Well, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here whilst I shamelessly plug TF2 Center, who a few of you players might be joining us over from that. So I'm not sure whether or not this map has been added to TF2 Center. I'm not sure if you know more. No, well, so would you say it's definitely worth like trying out or testing out, or all these little changes?
I'm not a big fan of pro versions of stock maps because I sort of feel that it sort of confuses the map pool.
So you don't want to see Granary Pro on your TF2 Center lobby soon?
I think we should just sort of send feedback to Valve and they take over it, but they've started now.
Yes, they have. The horses are off. We're ready to feast our eyes in this second map of Granary Pro. Reason Gaming versus... Actually, Reason Esports, I think. Reason Esports Gaming, whatever the way. Versus Wonderland. This is week 6, season 21, powered by TT Esports of ETF2L season. And the first thing I see on mid-war is just all sorts of like chaos. Initially, Nox being pushed out of the mid now, running away with his tail between his legs, and we actually see again Wonderland winning these initial mids.
Yeah, the mid plays out like the old Granary, where it's very, very messy, and
coin toss.
Anything could sort of pretty much happen. But
oh my goodness! Oh man, no one saw the crits going out. They finally just put that direct hit away and shown some love to the critical damage, and they've actually taken out Nox with a perfect crit sticky. Kuna kind of really replacing GDK in that mastermind behind the crits.
Yeah, the game was on for about 1 minute and 15 seconds, and we never realised.
Well,
we're not very good at this.
We all make mistakes. But if we're excited, if we're surprised, what do you think the stream is going to be like? Probably they're going to be well informed and we're going to look really bad, but I'm sure they were pretty hype about it.
Well, I've got it open. Don't think so.
Alright, well, we do see Reason actually fighting back for this point now. They have actually dropped a few players here and there, trying to get into Reason's last point. They did kind of blow that crits away for the second point and didn't really save it for last. They actually have got another crits inbound and actually have taken out a few players with that, but is it enough? They still need to claw back all the this initial ground that Reason has taken from them from that little break between the crits.
Yeah, I have to say Kunis has done some fantastic crits by my standards.
And
terrible.
the Uber comes in, kaidus and Mike kind of following up on each other. They have actually picked off Kunis, and now they don't have to deal with that pesky demo man with those crits anymore. You actually see Wonszu trying to do with some sort of forcing maneuver, but he doesn't actually go for knocks. He just went for an initial pick, and he still didn't manage to get everybody.
Crits is in.
Oh wow! Holy moly! Yeah, I've just gone all 1950s. I've just. Holy moly.
I need to write this down.
Well, nobody saw that coming. I guess if you just kind of
successfully.
Yeah, if you just I guess, take out that demo man, you don't ever suspect the soldier crits to come out of nowhere. You actually do see, again, Kyler for fun trying to go for the back cap, but this is granary, bro. You're not going to cap that midpoint as quick as the entire team of Wonderland are going to cap that second point.
So now they're playing this pretty smart, because I know they've got players behind them, but they're just sort of sitting on the point. They're giving a little bit too much space, but there's another demo man crits, which if we go by previous... Oh, what the hell?
Oh wow,
that's bad even by my standards now. Jesus Christ, I could do better than that, son.
Well, they just couldn't find anybody. They did find a scout in the end, but the scout was just too fast on his feet. They did actually get some initial picks off the big soldier double bomb. It was kind of like a mini air fight and trading some air shots in the midst of all that. It actually looks like this is in the bag for Wonderland. They've got so much cap time. They've actually got the initial round. Maybe your prediction from Sunshine was correct, but just not for Sunshine.
I predicted 6-1-6-1.
Yeah, oh, touche. Alright, second mid. Maybe Reason being a bit flustered now, a bit surprised, caught off. Maybe their momentum has come to a dead stop as we see Kuna rolling out to this initial mid from lower. Kaidus opting to go out from the high ground. He has dropped down to his medic. Silentes going onto Nox, but he seems he was controlled very well by Reason Gaming. But now you see Wonszu making a big jump onto Kaidus. Actually does take him out, and now you see the rest of Reason just trying to deal with Grabber, who still hasn't kind of got out in the end. And Nox's sustained heals has really just won the fight for Reason Gaming.
Yeah, that was a lot better from Reason on their mid. They had sort of congregated on one side. They weren't all bunched together, but they took control of their crates, which is what you kind of want to do on Granary, because if you sort of become too passive, you open up the entire map, and then you start finding it hard to keep track of all the players, but they played it very well this time around.
Yeah, Kyler for fun is just bloodthirsty. He's just trying to get this pick onto Pomu. He actually does take a few rockets here and there from Silentes, just trying to hold that ground as well. But now he's backed up with the entirety even of his team pushing out this left hand side. Kaidus opting to break off from his combo and protect that right hand side. A nice little force from Silentes in the ramp room, and now they're going to just try and salvage what they can of this Uber captain. He bounces out, but he can't see anybody. Kuna's just trying to peek his way through that door, but he hasn't really got any sort of shy answer or reason for capping that point. But now they've just decided to just to push in anyway, maybe to initially force off that crit, and it has forced off, but they've only managed to get off one kill with it. You'd think Reason would be kind of torn at the seams by this crit. They just walked straight into it, but they just caught Wonderland just completely off guard.
Yeah, that was it was another questionable crits play again. I would now like to take the moment to apologise to anyone I was in a team with that used crit streak, because you don't really realise how bad it is until you see it from a different perspective, and holy crap.
Well, on the bright side of it though, that Kuna did kind of use one of his leftover stickies and to take out one of the Reason players, pushing that last point very slowly, so props to him of making lemonades with lemons.
Yeah.
Alright, another little Uber coming in from, I I've completely forgot what that's called now, but they've Ubered in on to second point. They're actually chasing Grabber all the way to last. He has managed just inch his way out, but they still need to cap second, and the rest of Wonderland are just not letting them, at least not without a fight. They actually have finally taken out all the players, but they have to go back and actually cap the goddamn point before they can even push out to last. You have actually Captain going for the big manly fight. Nox even helping him out with a sly little arrow in the midst of all that. Now Pomu is actually coming out with the crit scattergun, and he's just completely melting people right now. Lupus even getting a piece of the action. Alright, so what have we got going on right now? Nox is just building his Uber in the yard area right now. We do see Wonderland taking their victory lap around the second point. Lupus does go for the actually Pomu, excuse me, going for the massive charge onto Nox. Maybe they can kind of deal with him. Salenta's even kind of banging him from the other side now. Kaidus was taken out during all the ribble rabble, and now it looks like Nox has just got no players to work with. The force of Wonderland is actually working. They are 1-0 down, and they're now back to their midpoint.
Yeah, I just sort of pressed tab, and I keep pressing tab, and it's just weird because they are winning.
Yeah, and but Reason maybe have an answer to this now. They have Ubered in from the left-hand side, and the crits has come out. It did take out Kaidus in between that multi-Ubering from Nox. Uncharacteristic for him dropping out Kaidus during that crits even. And now Salentes is just trying to make something happen, kind of even out things for his squad. Grabber did go out in the midst of all that, so they want to get that equalising pick onto Nox, but Nox with his entire team, some of the best players in the world, all stacked up on that midpoint. What chance have you got to take out Nox?
Like, this is literally watching me play, and it feels so scary. But at this point, I'm pretty sure that I remember yelling at whoever was healing me to not use crits. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. Kuna comes out massive with a nicely placed sticky trap.
Yeah, I guess
in the tyre.
I mean, when Reason are flustered at this point and they're just trying to like force their way into the fight, the last thing they've got in their mind is the sticky trap, but it doesn't matter. Kaidus picks up some nice kills on the little flank area and rotates with his entire team. They even get out that second point very easily now. They've got the full 100% Uber, and they're just pushing into this last point. Mike taking the aggressive foot forward actually takes out Grabber. There's going to be no saving grace of Grabber's Uber to save out this team right now. It's just going to come down to complete DM mastery. Kaidus is laying all sorts of kind of artillery fire from the sky. But he has been discovered. He got taken out in the end, but again, the rest of the Reason are completely healthy. It was just but a mere distraction for the rest of Wonderland. 1-1.
Yeah, that round definitely went on longer than it needed to be, but I really don't know how Wonderland are still sort of only now tying, despite all these terrible crits. And are they still running it? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I guess at this point, if you feel like you're against the wall, if it's time to go balls to the wall and just get that crits out and see if you can make things happen, see if the dream can just be made alive by just the random crits and the constant momentum. You do see Salentes initially being taken out, well controlled by Happy Call, Captain even picking up the pick onto Wonszu. There's no aggressive soldier presence for Wonderland right now, and that's a really bad thing on Granary. You need that initial soldier pressure. And now you see Grabber just running, leaving Lupus behind, a sacrifice to the Reason gods. Please, please don't kill me, says Grabber.
Ready for a 4K.
And the crits come in, and nothing. Oh wait, okay, something. They actually forced off Nox. They forced him Nox in the you know, that, oh god, I'm completely blanking on certain areas now. It's been such a long time since I've seen Granary, I'm actually forgetting some of the names. Yes, Yard, of course, Yard, I can forget about Yard. But Wonzu going big with those big two for one trade in that little area. And now Salentes even coming out to kind of clean up a player, but Mike does take out Lupus in that top area now. He's actually retreated himself to the ramp room, see if he can pick up some health pack and kind of dish out some more fighting presence. He actually has taken out Salentes. He's going for the skill stick onto Pomu. Pomu really wants to hit him, but Mike is just completely melee proof right now. Actually does take him out. A shy little smiley coming out from Pomu. Mike is feeling on top of the world right now. He actually puts on his best shadow burn impression and now just keeps that stick out. See if he can kill 3 people at once, but in the end of the day, it's still just an escape plan. Captain does take out Lupus, who just has to die, because if he doesn't die in the next 10 seconds, he has to start foaming at the mouth and maybe passes out.
We now have crits. Now the real question is, who are they going to use it on? Is Kuna sort of like sitting there with his French accent, sort of going me 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 me? Oh no, it's going through top of a soldier, and they get the trade, so they get a force, which is better than what Kuna would do.
And they are trying to make use of this Uber. Captain has gone in, but they are doing a very good job of kiting and controlling him. They've actually got a nice little air shot to finish him off. Kyler is trying to get on to Grabber, but Grabber just leaves the fight. There's just no way that he can get picked off if he just leaves it. And now Mike has tried to make something happen himself. He tries to get out. He actually has escaped, but Lupus is hot on his tail. He just wants that kill, but Mike is now just picked up all sorts of like he actually does make the nice little trade onto Wonzu in that little vamp room area. Actually, Wonzu, excuse me, Lupus. It was actually Wonzu that takes out Mike.
Yeah, this is it's going to start becoming quite tense for Reason, I could imagine. I'm pretty sure we have team comms in some shape or form, but we don't have the bot in here, so I guess we can't. Which is upsetting because I really like
maybe
comms.
Maybe if we make a wish upon a star, that bot will come back in, and then we can just.
There was someone called John in this channel.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! I think my wish has been granted. Do you want to hear some lovely comms?
Yes.
War?
It's only 80 behind.
Someone on middle. Clean
Yes,
behind. Clean behind. Help Captain on us. Yeah. Another
Still a
soldier
soldier
behind.
Soldier soldiers on left, top of mid.
Late,
bro.
Wait.
Demo that sticks, he's on the back, just too good.
Demo flank demo, he's close.
Remember
He's back
that
up,
we have a soldier behind on left.
No, he's down.
I think we killed him.
Nah, he's
No, that's
Okay, never
another
mind.
Okay, fuck it, we can. Watch around, Captain, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I'm watching Z.
Kill him and push last. Kill him and
Nah,
push
he's on
last.
mid, like far back on mid.
Ah.
I'm
What's the best down man
let's
ever?
down. Actually, they got spawned from my...
Yeah, it's
Waiting for
just
this ammo.
build-
I keep
just
watching
build
for
with
him.
me, someone on top, Captain.
He's low.
But,
No!
Yeah, that
Alright.
was.
No.
And we can push through YouTuber. Fuck it. Let's play with
Okay.
it. Let's begin to push left. Come.
Yeah. Need one more guy really with us.
Another
we-
sniper though. I don't
6.
see one yet.
They're building. Got tagged. So
I'm
close
with you.
right, far right even.
There's a
Let's go,
sniper
let's
left.
go. Study top.
Got us hurt.
Still down.
Dead.
Very listen.
Which was 6.
Going in.
I got Uber now. I just Uber in. You say.
Attack right side.
Shielding demo
Push
medic, demo medic. Demo's hurt. Oh,
They-
you would-
There he
Yes,
is.
it's really bad for me.
Soldier down.
I stay on last. I stay on last. Anyway, I'm fucked.
Yeah, stand last. I'm with you, Nox.
Kill demo. Kill demo. Okay.
Not down.
Scout's tag on point.
100
He's
100
29, 29 on the scout.
Down.
One demo.
How are you?
Oh.
Nice.
Oh.
Can do it T.
I believe.
Wow.
Wait, keep it on him. I want to hear him from mid.
Oh, but it seems. Oh, okay.
For the story at beginning and middle, only Afi could knock him. Please, the rest go
Understand.
forward. Leave the story. Please.
They're left, they're left, they're left.
So I took 100. He's flying into your fight. Scout took 97 up top.
Kill chilling top.
I'm down.
Should go out.
I'm leaving. We all at the corner, guys. All at the freaking corner. Low HP.
Yeah, I
we
tagged
really-
out on that mid.
Okay. But we need more people on the right side, like we were 6 on the left side at one.
Well, finally we see Reason doing something wrong. I was gonna. Oh wow, the crits onto Nox. Just as I'm just trying to like segue our way back into it, Nox even laying out a quick oh my god. It looks like it's in the stars for Wonderland to make the little comeback. It seems like Reason, kaidus responding saying he does believe, but actually in saying that now they've completely crumbled. Embarrassing.
Yep, you just completely killed that star, and it went super massive, and it just sucked in everything, so it turned into a black hole.
Man, just as I was catching a break, I was like, oh, maybe we've got ourselves a game, but we do have Lupus trying to hide himself away back, but immediately gets spotted, has to go again for the suicidal play. Lupus dies, and just, again, that good old-fashioned Lupus fashion.
Yeah, Lupus the Poopus.
Well, we'll see Reason's a little attempt to push now. It looks like they actually want to poke and prod from this right-hand side. It looks like most of it's given for free, so Reason are just like, why not? You go straight in, but Solentes wants to make something happen behind. He actually has swung all the way around, but he has been called. He's jumped onto Nox. A nice little shot in the air. Full Captain has put a silence to Solentes, and now Pomu's just having a good old attempt onto Nox now. But again, Nox just seems to be near and just dodging everything. Projectiles, bullets. There's just nothing that can stop this guy.
Next thing you know, he'll dodge lands.
Oh, topical. No, don't say that. Well,
We've got
you'll jinx
Kuna
it.
crits now.
We'll see what he can do with it. He is.
Let's do a frag guess. I guess none if it's on Kuna.
I'm going to take a guess on 1. I'm on the edge of my seat. They are gone pushed on top. They've actually used the Uber. I guess they just want to wait. Well, Kuna's completely died, so I think it's a very slim chance he's going to even get one pick. So I think, yeah, the crits just came out. Grabber had to kind of use it to kind of survive himself during that. He thought that maybe he wasn't even going to get it off, let alone actually get a pick with it, so he just uses it anyway. We actually see Kyle of Fun just trying to sneakily pick the point back from Wonderland right in front of the faces. Kaidus with a big flankerino onto Solentes does take him out, but Kaidus actually gets taken out by the collective of Wonderland, but finished off by Grabber, and now Wonszu is holding onto the point. Kuna is back up, raring to go, and has to build another crits from scratch, and the captain is picking out Wonszu in that yard area, and again, Nox is very, very low. It's just not enough.
No, it's just not enough. But they're still running crits, but wow. Reason are actually on mid, and Wonderland are on second.
Embarrassing.
That is incredibly...
I guess they're just terrified of...
weird. Each other.
I guess, you know, Nox was put very low. He was just put in a peculiar place. I mean, you know, the health packs are on mid. I guess if you need the health, you need to go back to mid. But, you know, very scared footing coming out from Reason. I guess they realise that, you know, one little cockle can maybe possibly cost them some of the precious map points that they do need. Captain does launch in, he does try to go for Grabber, but that spawn door is just so abusable, especially now that the respawn has been launched forward. You can just kind of rotate out, get health, and come back into the fight in 2 seconds flat wall.
Sil just did some massive plays while they were Ubering on last. He just went through Z and did some insane down. Nox at the moment is... oh my goodness. No way. They crit, they went to choke. It was Wonderland that jumped onto Nox and missed.
Embarrassing.
Very.
Well, Reason on the back of that embarrassing play by Wonszu are now just deciding to push up, capture the easiest second point of their lives, and now pushing into last with full momentum. There's absolutely nothing stopping them right now, even the fact that they haven't got an Uber, but maybe the DM will hold strong. Lupus is getting some very good damage, but not as much damage as Reason's getting kills on that last point. It seems every time I talk about something happens for the other team and they win.
Yeah. Lupus is going to make a soundbite out of what you said.
Yeah, every time I just hype somebody up, not the thing we should be looking at all.
Never said Lupus doing very good damage.
He was doing good damage, he just wasn't doing very good killing, that's all.
Yeah.
Kaidus opting to push out, roll out from the right hand side this time. Solentes with the nice little sneaky juke onto him does actually kill him outright. There's no demo man for Reason whatsoever, so no pressure from Kaidus. They actually have to get out of this immediately, completely concede the mid, and again another mid going for Wonderland.
And another crit streak as well.
It's just momentum for Wonderland. If they can make it push off and just don't give a chance for Reason to respond whatsoever. You do have Mike hiding in the Z, and he actually has spotted that kill, but he's just walked into the entire team, and he may be one of the best soldiers in the world, but even the best soldier can't take out 5 players in one go.
Yeah, Wonderland running crit steal is going to start to wear quite thin, especially as Reason are just going to be playing around it. As you can see, they crit stuff, but yeah, it's just a Nuba trade. I mean, they'll have the advantage when they recycle, but it's well, not anymore.
Well, nobody suspects Kyler coming from drop down and taking out Grabber there. I guess they just thought that things were really in their favour once they actually got out with that crit. So you and I thought they were in their favour, and I've got war hacks right now, War.
Oh, I didn't even have that.
Yeah, so, well, don't you? Well, it's really nice, but
No,
anyway.
I normally have a program running that gives it to me, but I turn it off for constant streams.
Okay.
Yeah, they've completely ruined that. Kyla again going behind, going through drop down, which is a pretty terrible mistake to make. However, I would say because of the situation and how rushed they're going to start feeling, I guess it's something that can happen in these situations. But they're going to be kicking themselves for falling for such a simple ploy.
Yeah, 7 minutes on the clock. Wonderland have to kind of be feeling that squeeze right now with a 2-round deficit, and especially the nature of Granary. Granary can be slowed down at just like a mere moment's notice. Coming out with possibly some of the hardest pushers and defences in TF2, and now the crits has gone off. It actually does take out kaidus and Happy Core, but the captain's managed to stay alive during all that crits. But look at all the blue players fluttering around him. Even Captain can't make all that happen. So Mike trying to joins in the sneaky little punch behind Captain. It does take out a player, but that's just a trade war. Now Kuhn is just trying to make something happen, capitalise on the fact that Reason are kind of disjointed, and a lot of their players are still coming back from the resupply.
Kuhn actually did a good crit, dare I say. He got 2 kills.
Yeah, Demoman and the Scout are very good, very good.
Yeah, it's quite a good play there.
There might be hope for Kuna yet.
They are going to need to be a lot quicker than this. They really need to sort of start pushing on the momentum now, because they're not really sort of playing the crits advantages that well. They're just sort of doing the same thing. Crits when they have Uber and then try and recycle. I mean, if they're going to play like that, they have to be a lot more sort of careful when they trade off. But
they actually used the crits there to see if they could catch them out in yard, but there was nothing there. Absolutely nothing. And they didn't even camp mid yet.
Yeah, that looks like just a... I don't know.
Yeah, well, Reason kind of clocked onto it, I guess. They realised, like, oh, the crits has been... Oh, wow, the big drop from Solentes hiding on that top of that lamppost. You didn't see that coming. Everyone forgot about that spot. Nox even crying out, OMG. The big sync rocket play from the lamppost. Solentes. Nox crying out, pipe and rocket. No, 2 rockets. I sync from lamp.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It was a good drop. I don't know why Nox was commenting about onions, meat and gravy in chat, but maybe he's just sort of hungry, I guess. But it's yeah, this is going to start getting under their skin. I feel that if they drop around, then it's going to become really, really bad for them. I think they might start tilting, but it just depends how Wonderland now play. To me, I think they should just sort of just chill out, take some time, and then just sort of play on any sort of shred of advantage that they have.
Well, speaking of shred of advantage, Wonderland have got a pick onto Captain. That's a very big player for Reason, but then again, any pick on the Reason squad is a very big pick, as all the players just kind of outstand themselves in these plays. As you can see, Mike taking out one of the players there. I did quickly miss it though. Mike actually gets a nice little trade onto Lupus. So they are kind of stuttering themselves with this crits now. They've got the defensive Uber ready for the crits. They've actually popped it off in time. They're keeping everybody alive, it seems. No drops today from Nox. And now Solentes just trying to get himself out. Pomo even getting a nice little pick onto the flank area. Now Reason have to go back and deal with Pomo, who is behind right now. But it seems... the rest of Wonderland just don't want to like kind of support him. He just looked like he was pissing in the wind there. Poor little Pomu. And now Kuna gets taken out. It seems like everyone's on a different wavelength, and that wavelength has like got a 3-second delay. Finally they pushed in, but they pushed into the entire Reason squad after they dealt with Pomu. And now Solentes jumps up with the soldier trying to fight him, but actually just trades places. Grabber's taking the rough meat end of it. Does get taken out in the end with the help of kaidus. It seems like the synergy is just working a lot better for Reason right now, even though that they're quite a fairly new squad.
Yeah, the play from Pomu was, well, obviously bad, but it just doesn't... If you're behind, just try and sync something with your teammates, but he ends up going in by himself to try and do, you know, a big solo play, and then the rest of
that
Wonderland
Pomu's fault, or is that Wonderland's fault.
Well, if he doesn't say what he's doing and when he's going in, then it's his fault.
I suppose, yeah. We don't know the skinny of it, I suppose. Maybe he might have been begging to his team, please do something, I'm behind. But
Possibly.
we'll never know.
Yeah.
Alright, so we see they're trying to crit out into this lobby area. They have to do this. They can't just sit about because that Uber can shred them at any point, at any time. They have actually forced off the Uber and backed out swiftly and now got that nice little advantage going, but they're trying to overwhelm this right hand side with Lupus. Lupus is fighting off 2 scouts, he can't do it, and now Pomu is just trying to support out his teammates. And again, they drop out Wonderland. Not sure if Wonderland was just trying to make a pick there. It seems everything is so disjointed. There seems to be one thing happening at one time, and then like another Wonderland member wants to do something else.
Yeah, they really need to be playing this with a little bit more urgency. Because at the moment they're really not sort of doing what they
the
need.
crits comes out, they're aiming for the Reason players in the sky. Kaidus even going for the nice little, oh wow, he actually does get picked off there. He was hiding on top of that crate area and still gets found by that sticky. It seems like the sticky range nerf has not affected Kuna in this match at least. Silentes does get taken out trying to make some sort of like equaling play onto Reason there, but Nox is just not giving up that Uber. Even if he is down to 40 HP, he has actually gone and picked up a health pack. He's going to rejoin his team now, use that Uber to push out mid, and let's see what Wonderland's response is going to be.
Probably lose all the players.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe we
they've,
should get
they've been running crits all game, and I mean, there's been moments where they've sort of turned around the fight, but it's just whenever it's back to an even footed, they're just not playing it correctly. I mean, they're doing another crits through left yard now, and it's just the same thing. What is going to happen is they're now just going to probably get stomped like they've been happening all game.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the game is successfully over. There is just a minute left and there's 2 rounds, and you and I, and maybe not everybody knows, if you're joining us from TF2 Centre or something, you're a new player just branching yourself out. It does take like a minute or so to cap a point, or cap a round even, in TF2, so it's physically impossible for Wonderland to make their comeback right now.
Unless they have no clip.
Unless they have no clip, yes. But fortunately, cheats are disabled. I have to state this for everybody, just so you don't know, we don't like cheating. So we disable those. The GGs have come out already. We are delving quite into dead time right now. Maybe we could use this time war to tell me what. I know you've been banging on about it over and over again, but just say it one more time. Just for the crowd, what has Wonderland been doing wrong, and what has Reason Gaming been doing right?
To be honest, Wonderland are. I mean, the crits play and the close game is probably just a reflection of what Wonderland are doing. And the problem is that when it's Uber versus crits for the entirety of the game, it's incredibly hard to regain an advantage as the more dominant team, because you'll get crits on, you're forced to Uber, and then the other team will then play incredibly passive and then just recycle through the same thing again. And you know, it's just the same thing. Breaking news: Captain got 18 air shots, matching Mike's record. It's just an incredibly messy situation to be in from Reason, and to be honest, credit to them, they managed to keep their cool. There were obviously a few moments when it was a bit tight and getting a bit close, but when you're against a team that is literally just using crits, you kind of have to play perfectly, because one mistake, then that's it. One Uber drop, then that's it. Although there were many situations where we saw an Uber drop, and Wonderland still didn't capitalise on that advantage anyway. So
on the bright side, though, that the collective of Silentes and Wonszu, they got more air shots together. So who's the real victor?
Definitely not Lupus or Pomu.
Yeah, Lupus and Pomu have suffered a lot in that game, and they actually died 24 times, actually joined by his teammate. Actually, Silentes with... God, this is a very death-central game for the...
Yeah, it is crits though, but it's... fun fact, Lupus killed the enemy scouts 3 times. Pomu killed them 4 times.
Embarrassing.
Yep.
Well, maybe let's have a look at what other stats we can join in. Like, as much as fun as air shots and deaths are, we should probably look at the more critical,
quite an interesting one. Damage, sorting by damage is the top as Mike and Captain, and despite Wonderland running crits all game, they're not actually taking that title, and not surprisingly, Kuna is nowhere near. Probably because he missed. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
So I guess if you just have the stronger demo men, the stronger soldiers, you're more than likely going to just win Granary outright.
Well, it was just the same thing over and over again. They would get crits done, as was mentioned previously, and then Reason would just attack on them, and they would just clean up quite a few players, but Grabber would always pretty much get out alive, which credit to him. The losing team, he's only died 11 times, which is quite respectable. Nox only died 5, which again is also very, very good considering it went the full 30 minutes and he was against a crit medic. So it just sort of goes to show how terrible in some occasions the crits plays have been. And they have Reason did play it pretty well, I would say. People don't sort of necessarily take into account what it's like to play against Kritzkrieg through an entire 30-minute game on Granary of all maps. It's very, very unsettling, and it's very, very awkward to sort of maneuver around the map comfortably. But yeah, there's a few things I'd like to mention before we may or may not go into interviews.
Alright, shoot.
I55.tf, if everybody would like to pay a visit there. Ascent are near their target, I believe. I'm just gonna whack my microphone with my incredibly feminine hands. Let's have a look. Yeah, Ascent are on. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a Scrap TF page. What the fuck is this?
Well,
they're on 88%, and the main one that we also want as well, which I really have to sort of push, is the TLR one, because let's be honest, we really, really, really want TLR to be there because Shadowburn.
We want to see if the fables are true.
And they're on €992 out of 1,500, so head over there, give them your support. It's looking like this land's going to be good, and hopefully it won't be an incredibly disappointing grand final.
Not bitter though, not bitter.
No, I'm not bitter, I'm just ashamed.
Well, at least step one is admitting it, I suppose.
Yeah, and as they're still not here, another...
I can drag them in at any point, but...
Another conversation topic, again, is my charity stream this Saturday, because I really want to make money for kids who are sick, like me. Yeah, I55.tf, please, for God's sake. We need it.
Well, they've decided to climb into TF2TV. Let's see, I'm going to just move Lippy in here. Oh wait, actually no, they've moved him in themselves. They were just requesting me. I don't know why they were requesting me. We're completely the other end, but
yeah, you don't really want Lippy in here, considering he didn't really have. He had a very, very terrible performance in that game that we just watched.
Alright, sorry for the stream silence. I'm just working on grabbing some players in here right now. Whilst I do have your attention, though, I just want a big shout out to TF2 Center, who have kindly put a little notification showing when we are streaming. And you should really check them out. It is really fun to play TF2 Center now. It's not like the lobbies of yesteryear. It's really some top-notch technology behind it now, and it's really impressive to see.
Oh wait, do we have to be like this because we're plugging them? Because alright, actually, yeah, TF2 Center is absolutely fantastic place to play. The wide range of and depth of skill that I find there is absolutely superb. Advanced lobbies are probably going to be the best thing that's ever going to happen to TF2. I, for one, think that it's a fantastic idea, especially as there are so many good gamers that play TF2 center games as well. So I really think that it's going to really shake up TF2 as a whole and really help it sort of propel itself into the realm of esports, personally.
That's the spirit. Let's see if we can grab some gamers in here. I'm just going to drag in. I'm just going to pick Kaidus because he's always a good candidate for these interviews. Maybe I should. I'm just going to drag him in here, just surprise him. Hello, Kaidus. We've nominated you for the interview. Thank you for accepting.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be asked in advance.
I hope you weren't doing anything important.
To be fair,
we were just looking at the Lego result.
I did ask captain, but he never really nominated a player, so I just grabbed one of you at random. And you're always good on these interviews, so
yeah, I bring the sodium,
the mass sodium. So first off, congratulations! You've beaten Wonderland. It's clearly a big result for you. You must be thrilled.
Oh yeah, it's a top-notch result.
So this is the first official with your new team. How was it?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, like Sunshine was pretty easy. Granary was, I guess you obviously noticed, they just ran crits full time on Granary, so it made it really, really awkward to play. We were kind of discussing about just now, like, the only way to, like, the way they were playing, the only way to take fast rounds was to, like, completely dominate the mids. We haven't really talked about Granary mid, like, as a team, really. We just kind of have a few quick things that Nox says, but, like, in general, our mids are a bit, they're still really fresh. Like, it's only the third night we played together now. So yeah, we weren't really crushing the mids, which means the whole game is, like, really, really slow. But it was, like, it was, like, awkwardly comfortable, I would say.
So speaking of, like, that Granary mid, it seems like when you went 1-0 down, was the morale in the team at all, like, at a low point?
No, the first mid, like, Nox couldn't heal on rollout for the first mid. So we just kind of, like, we couldn't really do mid. We just kind of went, like, no one fast. Like, I just walked to mid because I didn't get a buff and things like this. Like, Nox was late. We lost mid, obviously, because of that. And then they crits, and we discovered, okay, they're running crits. So it was like, whatever, next round, let's go. And like I say, we just couldn't take fast rounds. Like, we never really felt, apart from, like, there was one moment where we had to kind of clutch on last. Apart from that, like, we never really felt pressured, like we might lose another round. Just couldn't take rounds fast because of the way they played. Like, they crits, they run away, then they play super passive till they get crits again, and just this cycle happening over and over and over again. So, like I say, it was reasonably comfortable, just not easy to take rounds fast.
Okay, so if that wasn't the morale breaker, what about these PCW results as of late with the new team? A little birdie tells me that you've been losing to TLR and even Danger Dogs. Does this not impact you at all?
The birdie being logs.tf, which is an openly accessible website to all.
Alright, I wanted to make it sound like I was cool and I had connections, but thank you, Wall.
That's right.
Well, we didn't lose to Dogs. We drew one map to Dogs, which is okay. They're like a decent team. We won the other one, and yeah, I mean, in our very first night, we lost by like a round to TLR, but it's like our first games together, and we're like, I don't know, like thinking back to those PCWs, if we could push last, we probably would have won them quite comfortably, and the score would look completely different. But we're figuring things out as we go. Like every last push we do, we're fixing one mistake, and then the next last push, we're trying to learn from that mistake, and so that's kind of how it goes in the first few games. Like things like pushing last with advantage, it's like you have a 10-minute discussion, and then it's kind of you fix all those mistakes. So like I say, we lost by like one round in our first game, so promising really. I don't know why you'd think that would break morale. Like we're playing like one of the two best teams in Europe that exists, and we lose by one round in our first game, so that's not morale breaking in any way. I don't really understand that point of view.
Oh, fair enough. I guess people just expected like maybe once you just got all the pieces together, it would just like work straight away. But it makes a lot of sense, and thank you for clarifying.
It's like we're not like a puggy team, We don't just like go on the server and everyone's just going in and DMing and doing their own thing. Like if we did that, we'd probably have marginally better results for the first few weeks. But we have like 2.5 months till land, so there's no need to like rush and just try and you know, just force it to work in the first week. We're playing like a longer, like having like a longer view on things. We're trying to just like, get the basics down, like the basics of team play, rather than just playing a weird, like random style that's going to win us PCWs in the meantime.
All right, just to welcome in Wonszu, who's joining us from Team Wonderland. Wonszu, hello.
Hello.
So you have just lost to Reason Gaming. Bad luck. Another day at the factory. Hard luck. All that jazz. What do you think went wrong?
I think our preparation went wrong because we were really mad at each other before the official, and everyone was raging at each other. So I think that was the main issue on the Sunshine. Really, I hate this map, and I played badly because really this map is fucking boring and fucking retarded. So also we were raging, so I lost the fate. But on the granary, the things changed, so I really enjoyed the granary.
All right. Okay. Well, so when you first went into the game, did you all think that this was completely doable? Like you could take down this new Reason squad, or did you think like we'll just give it our best shot and just make it look honorable? Or
I think it was like just to give the best shot to just enjoy the game, not to throw 5-0. Even if it looked like we were just playing to lose it really fast. It wasn't like that. We really tried to play our best. I know the people don't believe in us, so it was like we were trying to give our best, and we on Granary we showed what we can, right? In my opinion, it was really good on Granary. We just lost only 3-1 with the best, actually the best team in Europe. So
yeah, that's a very optimistic mindset of things. So I did notice that Salentes was again murking for your team tonight. What happened to Kos?
what?
What happened to Kos? Is King of Squirrels?
Actually, I don't know. Something happened to him that he couldn't join. He just said he has something wrong with his like private life, so he can't manage to come.
I had to play with Lucas.
Yeah.
Well, either way, Salentes has been proving like a reliable ascent to the Wonderland squad. Maybe, do you guys have any plans to like maybe pick him up, maybe for the second season or something like that?
I don't know.
You don't know. Fair enough. You don't have your entire squad in here to kind of back you up with the answers, and maybe you haven't thought about these sort of things quite yet. Bring it back to kaidus. Kaidus, people kind of ask what your aspirations for this season and also for LAN coming up as well. So obviously LAN is very important to you guys, and you're probably aiming to win it, of course. But what about this season? Is this season like on the radar for reason whatsoever?
What do you mean? Is it on the radar?
As in, is it like? Do you care for it? Like, win or lose? Do you want to win this to prove a point, or do you not care how the results go? It's just going to be the most relaxed, like season attempt.
I think a better way to phrase that question would be: would you be using this season to find your footing before LAN?
Yes, that is a better word.
I don't know, I can only really answer for myself, I guess. Like, we want to win. We'll try and win, obviously, but for me at least, it's not going to be like as long as we're in playoffs, it's not going to be the end of the world if we don't win, because we won't really been playing together for very long. Like, we're not really going to play next week because Mike's away, so we're basically going to play for like 1.5 weeks, and then assuming we make playoffs, then we go into playoffs after playing together for 1.5 weeks. So it's not really determining anything. If we lose, if we win, it's a great sign. We want to win. Like, we think we can win, but if we were to lose, wouldn't really say much, I don't think.
As for these preparations for LAN, it seems last LAN, I-52, it seemed the Epsilon squad really struggled with working around like Nox's schedule, everyone's schedule really, just kind of going about and not getting enough practice in. Are you worried that this is going to happen again?
Not particularly. Like, I mean, a few people have some stuff planned. Like I say, Mike's away next week, and I know captain's going on after playoffs. Captain has to go away with his family for a few weeks or something like that. So there's a couple of things that will get in the way, but I think we have all the information about who's away for periods and when, and it seems okay. Like there'll be a couple of periods where we can't play or we have to play with Merc or whatever, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as what Epsilon had to deal with last summer with like all of their team going on holiday in different weeks or whatever it was. War can probably fill in more on that, but I think it's not going to be like that.
All right, okay. Bringing it back to Wonszu.
Yeah.
Wonszu, are Wonderland planning to attend this LAN?
Of course, we are planning to attend this LAN. Oh yeah, we should win with the Americans.
How much of the squad is going to be going to LAN? Is it going to be the entire squad? Or?
I don't know. I planned to go on LAN, but I don't know if I will go there. I think that Graba said he will come just to watch some games, and actually I didn't ask the rest of the team.
All right. So if LAN is quite on the horizon, maybe this season, what are your aspirations towards the end of the season? Now you're likely that you're going to get that relegation spot. Are you aiming to play the relegation game and stay in Prem?
We don't know if this team will stay together in the next season, so I can't say this.
Will you still play the game though to make sure if you like even qualify for Prem?
Yeah, I understand, but this spot might be free in the next season, so new teams should try.
All right, okay. Well, I think I've got all my questions out of the way. I'm not sure about you, War.
I have none.
All right, okay. Well, I guess we can wrap this up. Put a little bow on it. Call it a gift to the TF2 community. Any shout-outs from anybody? Just chime in. Open hat.
Shout out to my team and to Reason, our sponsors, and all that. And also, just to say, I only just realised we were playing against Silentes, the ex-TLR robot. This entire time I thought we were playing against Serotonin, the current TLR medic. I've only just realised that it wasn't that player. That was
Nice.
good to know. They both begin with S and they used to play for TLR. It's confusing.
Know your enemy.
Yeah, it would
Wow.
have probably helped. I was like, wow, okay.
How about you, War?
Again,
Again, another plug?
to the charity stream that I'm going to be doing in aid of a children's mental health charity. Shout out to, actually it's not really a shout out, visit i55.tf to send some questionably poor gamers to LAN so they can, square up each other in real life. Shout out to TF2 Center, I guess, for putting us on their main page, despite what my sarcastic tone suggests. We appreciate it. And that's all, I guess.
That's the spirit. Wonzu, you have the floor.
Yeah, shout out to my team. Shout out to Lupus and Silentes because he's the best. He's the best of the best. No, really. Shout out to Silentes for mercing for us and carrying us. I really like you, Sil.
Not Serotonin. Definitely Silentes. You never know, it might have been Serotonin, maybe just hiding behind the Silentes.
Yeah, but that's true. But don't say to anyone, please.
Alright. Well, I guess finally me, a big shout out to all you guys watching. You're the reason we do this. And Wall's already plugged TF2 Center, very good caster. 10 out of 10. Big shout out to our Twitter. If you've got any sort of tweets or opinions or anything like that, tweet at us, teamfortress.tv. Yeah, I think that's everything. I guess we can wrap this up. Cut it, press it, print it. Okay, see you later. Tune in next time.